Hello everyone, welcome in our video, and in this presentation we are going to take a topic. It is about planning, organizing and coordinating in education management. And before we continue, we are from the third group. We would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Nelman. I am the first speaker, the second speaker is Cyrillus Gulo, and the last speaker is Octavius Zaluhut. And before we continue, the Honorable, our lovely lecturer, Ma'am Nursayani Maruau MPD, and beloved friends and all the audience in this video. Alright, so the topic today it is about the planning, organizing, and coordinating in education management. So talking about education management here, it is not something new for us. So the question is, what is the education of management? Alright, so the education management, it is about the process that have to implement it to achieve the goal of the education. The goal of the education, generally, it is about to humanize the human. So how to achieve the goal of the education? So that's why that is about our discussion today about planning. So to achieve the goal of the education, there must be there, for example, like planning, organizing, and coordinating about the facilities, about the material, about the money, and about the steps and the program and the method that must be efficient and efficiently to achieve the goal of the education. So that's why we are going to talk about today about the planning, organizing, and coordinating in education. Alright, now we are going to talk about planning in education management. So talking about the planning, it means the process, and there is something that have to arrange, right? So planning in education management, it is talking about the process to set the goals and then to provide facilities and environments, and also to determine effective and efficient way to achieve the goal of education and to shape human being to have the competency. So that is the meaning of education, the meaning of planning in education management. Okay, now let's continue to another part. It is about the scope of education planning. So generally, there are three scopes of education planning. First of all, planning of the time dimensions. The second one, planning of spatial dimensions. And the last one, planning of the technical level of planning. So I will explain one by one. First of all, planning of the time dimensions. So planning of the time dimension, it refers to the 3 points. First of all, long time planning. It is about when the government planned the education of Indonesia, for example, what is the suitable curriculum that in the Indonesia and in the region. So usually takes a time 4 years until 8 years. Alright, the second one, medium term planning. In the second term planning, it is take 5 years for the government to plan, for example, the school work plan. And the last one, it is about the short-term planning. It is about refers to the school activities, refers also to the school budget. So, for example, like the government want to arrange the plan of the school. For example, like what the activities they have to do in these years, and how about the school budget also. And the second one, it is about planning of spatial dimensions. So there are 3 points here. There are 3 points. First of all, national planning. It is about the process of Indonesia education based on the global or curriculum. So national planning, it is refers to the government when they are going to arrange, for example, like the curriculum that's suitable for Indonesia. So the government must be watch out how about the condition of global in Indonesia, and then continue to make the curriculum, for example. And the second one, regional planning. So it is about between in a region, for example, in North Sumatra. In North Sumatra also, for example, get the curriculum that have arranged by Minister of Education in Indonesia. And finally, the region are going to plan also the education in their region, for example, in North Sumatra, what's suitable with our condition. And the last one, talking about spatial planning. In spatial planning, it is refers to urban planning or project. So it is refers to when the government are going to make a new school in region or maybe in something region. So the government have to understand about like urban planning, the environments, the projects also, what they have to do. Alright, I'm going to explain the last one, the scope of education planning, that is planning of the technical level of planning. So there are 3 I'm sorry, there are four part here. First of all, it is macro teaching. In macro teaching, it is refers to the economy of national. So it is not just as easy as what we think. How about the planning of education? Because the government also have to understand about the economy of national, and then next to our they are going to make the planning of education. And the second one, micro planning. In micro planning, it is refers to the condition of the region. It is not global, but it is depend on the region. For example, like how about the region in North Sumatra and how about the others? All right. The third one, it is about a sectoral planning. In the sectoral planning, it refers to the environment, or maybe in the environment of the school. How about the efficient and efficiently environment that's suitable for the school? And the last one, it is about the project planning. So when the government make a new school in region or maybe in something place, so the government have to understand about how the planning of the project, how about the planning to build the school. All right, I'm going to explain again another topic also. It is about basic and philosophy of educational planning. So ladies and gentlemen, educational planning is about the process, route to education future to be better. So sometimes you ask why the education should be planned, why the education should be arranged. Because without arranges, without planning in education, everything is nothing. The education, for example, in Indonesia is will be messed up. So that's why the government have to arrange the education. All right. So and then here also there are some steps for the government when they are going to management, or I mean when they are going to plan the education in Indonesia. I mean, first of all, it is about the introduction. So in introduction, what the government have to do here, first of all, they have to understand here, they have to introduce what the topic, what the problem they are going to do, and then what the scope of the problem they have to do. And the second one, in the defying education problem, for example, like build a new school, and then they have to identify what is the education problem there. All right. The third one, it is about the analysis of planning problems. After find the problem of education planning, they have to analyze also, for example, what the solution, what they have to find out more about the solution and of the problem. And the fourth one, it is about drafting concepts and plans. For example, what the concept, what are the plan they have to do to build the new school. And then evaluate plan. Of course, there are must be evaluation by a plan, by arrange all the plan, and then they have to do evaluation. And next, it is about set up plan. After evaluate and again set up the plan, and the second one is also implementation of plan. So after arrange all the kinds of plan they have arranged before, so they are going to implement in region, maybe in the national situation, maybe in environment, whatever they want. And the last one, feedback of plan. So the government also after making the plan, they have to make also the feedback, they have to get the feedback of their plan. So that's all about the planning of education. So once again, without planning of education, everything is nothing. The education will be messed up. So that's why planning of education is very important to get the best future, for example, in Indonesia. So that's all. My presentation will continue the others presentation.
Okay, part B, organizing in education management. 1. Definition of organizing. Organizing comes from the Latin organum, which means tools, part, and limbs. Organizing are always defined as various components that are united in structure and work system that continues to move in tune with the goals be achieved. Organizing are not understood at place, and an organizing is a combination of human resource group by structure, function, authority, and responsibility. Some opinions of experts regarding organizing are as follow. Stoner 1996, ergoist. Organizing is the process of employing two or more people to work together in a structured way to achieve specific goals on several goals, in other words. Allocation work, authority, and research among organization members so they can achieve goals aim. The next is number 2, organizational purpose and effectiveness. Okay. Whom humans need to organize with goals and benefits among others. 2. 1. Overcome the limited ability, willingness, and research they have in achieving their goals. 2. Achieving goals more effectively, and effectively because they are done together, or the moving for achieve goals. And the third, containers leverage research and technologies together. Fourth, a place for developing one's potential and specialization or achievement motivate. 5. A place to get a position and division of labor. 6. Place to manage environment together. And other. Next, organizing in education management. Okay. Regarding the definition, objective, benefit, and effectiveness of organizing in education management. So in organizing an educational program, there are two main things that must be considered and implemented, namely determination of the organizational structure and division of tasks, and the determinant of authority and responsibility for the leadership and all personnel involved in the organization. First, of part A, organizational structure. Robin and Fatah 2006 state that organizational structures define how to work, tasks are divided, grouped, and formally coordinate. The organizational structure depict work position, division of labor, types of work to be done, relationship between superiors and subordinate, groups, components of or parts, level of management and communication channels. Thus, the organizational structure of the training will describe the grouping of training work units. And the last is part B, authority and responsibility. Authority refers to the right inherent or embedded in a managerial position to give orders and accept those orders to be obeyed. Furthermore, Robin and Fatah 2006 also state that responsibility is a person's obligation in carrying out their function. This organization can be interpreted as process of determining work system and procedures according to their respective duties. The division of authority to carry out a job can be understood as part of strategy to mobilize organizational resources to be able to play a role in creating the capacity of education service for community. So, the process of organizing educational resource is intended to encourage the improvement of ability of each individual and the administration of education, so that they can work professional and responsibility to improve the quality of education.
Hello, I am Octavio Jaluku. Now we are going of coordinating in education management. Okay, the first definition of coordinating is an activity of connecting, unifying, and aligning people, tasks, or jobs, methods, and tools in harmonious relationships so that everything takes place in an orderly and dynamic manner towards the achievement of the goal of cooperative effort efficiently. And then, if we associate coordination with education, so coordination is absolutely necessary in educational organizations, because in educational organization there is a very substantial division of labor, namely the work of educating and management work in educational units and learning management to achieve educational goals according to the required quality. And then we have three subtopics in this topic. There is coordination objectives, coordination methods, and the last is about coordination tools and techniques. Okay, for the first, what we are doing in coordination objectives. Okay, definition of coordination objectives is to facilitate accomplishment of overall objectives. It works on the fulcrum of unity of purpose, such as solve conflicts, integration, and synchronization with stakeholders, develop and maintain harmonious and streamlining the execution of tasks and preventing unfair competition. Okay, the second is about coordination methods. In this, coordination will be released by complete meetings, periodic meetings, formation, stabilization, interviewing, instruction, and existence. And the last is about coordination tools and techniques. For example, it is hold regular teacher meetings to discuss the program and implementation of learning. Okay, that's all about my explanation